He always had the microphone on the desk.
But doesn't he kind of favor Jimmy Fallon? Do you guys think so?
I'm not sure if this is good or bad.
No, that's
I'm
good.
not sure.
No, that's good.
I think he looks like Zac Efron.
Yeah, it's a combination. There he goes.
All right, so I was at this conference the last 2 days, and people were absolutely bending over to kiss my butt for absolutely no reason. And I just told Mickey I don't want that happening here because he was like, "Oh, I heard your sound check went really well." I spoke into a microphone and said my name for 15 seconds, and I was like, "Who'd you hear that from? Because you might need to fire that person." So, all right,
But
you two are on my list. You're
I said I didn't get the Jimmy Fallon thing, you know what I mean?
okay.
Well,
All right,
I've
good.
always
See?
said if Zac
Well, you for honest
Efron
advice.
and Jimmy Fallon had a baby,
You had that vibe.
yeah,
When I was in high school, I got Daniel Radcliffe a lot, but
I can kind of
You
see
fight for
that.
it.
Yeah, I can kind of see that
I can
too.
kinda see that.
yep.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
See, everybody, everybody's getting fired.
I've been quiet over here.
Right.
That's what Shanair knows.
I was like, you guys keep
Sam
talking.
kept himself busy. I saw. Yep.
Well, we are, so what I did was just for your estimate.
Sure.
so we just-
Got a monitor? Okay.
This is the actual test stream.
Okay.
That's going on right now over YouTube. So you can kind of see what typically happens and how your audience will look at it. What I was just explaining to Michelle was, see that would be the caller. That would be the caller at the bottom. Because remember.
Oh, if they're on the screen, we would see their. Okay.
Yeah, well, if they come in that way,
Yeah.
yes, we would add them to the show and they literally would be a part of the show. But if they call in, then this
Yep.
is the next best.
That's what we'll see. I love it. Okay. Okay.
I'm gonna simulate, because the person that I had to call, I told him at 2:00 and they was like, I gotta go at 15 minutes. So
Oh, okay.
if,
You want me to call? You want me to call?
yeah, even if somebody just calls on their
Make a
landline,
call, yeah.
that'll be perfect.
Okay.
We
Maybe
just
I
want to
can-
be able to
Maybe
simulate.
Marky's sitting over there. I'll give her a call.
And, we would be, so obviously what we would be doing, we're gonna be monitoring the chat, right? We would be monitoring people who are on our social media.
Yeah.
We'll be bringing it in. So what I'll ask you guys to do,
It's going towards our personal social.
yes, one of you go into your personal social, and then one of you manage it, swing it over when it comes in to add it to the show.
Okay. So I'll go into my personal social and then you get swing it into the chat.
I thought they already came in here though. in this.
They come inside of here, but what I'm saying is, we need somebody to type it in. You know what I mean?
And hit show, I think.
Oh,
To go on there.
Okay, that's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cause see, we can put the chat, let me show you the
Oh,
whole.
look at that. I got a chat
Yeah.
overlay.
We can do that as a whole. We can add the chat in there so that the folks see it. And that'll just give us another look.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's gonna be based off of the amount of people that we have. But, yeah, that's the same. That number for the Zoom is the same. It's a toll-free number. So that we know for certain that should be good as far
I
as.
think we should definitely, for later, put it on the back somewhere.
I want to, maybe if I go this way, no, their mic is on too. That's what Carter was gonna do here, to, put it up here. Still probably.
Oh, last time when you connected to that, were you hard connected or was it?
Also,
You were?
yeah, I mean, I Bluetooth to it, but
Just
still
for
for
the
the
audio.
monitor, yeah.
The
just-
audio was Bluetooth. Start with studio, embed stream. Oh, look at this embed stream. This is-
Yeah, so you as a guest, they can embed it into their own live stream, or they can take it. So if I'm on mine and I want to go live, like, hey, that's what's going on there. It's all right. I can take it and share that. That's just another new way of doing it.
So.
Yes.
I'm gonna ask you a question. How do I go to the live feed on my Facebook?
So on your Facebook, well, I'm sorry.
Right, I don't think it's
YouTube is
live.
where you, yeah, here,
It's YouTube,
I'm
right?
sorry. If you click the edit up there at the, not edit, but you see where it says edit destinations? Up at the top where the live stream?
Marky's gonna call in from a link.
Edit destination, yeah.
Go ahead and, hold on one second, let me ask you.
That's a really cute ring.
So you guys can talk to whoever's live.
Okay.
It's Marky.
Oh, so yeah, we would.
Oh, Marky's calling? Okay, great.
She can't.
Not that one? Oh, you would do-
Sam, can you say hi? Hi, Marky.
Hi, everybody.
Thanks for calling in.
Hey, Marky, thanks. You're live on Afspa Live Test. How you doing?
I'm doing really well, and I'm so glad to come in and meet some people for the first time and see the people I know, and it's wonderful. I can hear you all pretty clearly. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
I'm just gonna start. I wanna
How are
hear-
your kids? Hi.
Oh, you want to, okay.
I just want to hear the actual.
Yeah.
She asked how your
Yeah, how
kids.
are doing.
Oh, they're fine. They're terrible, but they're fine. They're generally awful, but my twins turn 6 next week.
Wow.
And then the young,
Time flies.
I know the little one's 3. And
Went quick.
yes.
Remember we went to open season together, you had little one.
When was that?
How fun for you?
Was that 2019 or was it 2018? I can't remember. We were at the FBI, right?
Yeah, we did an open season, that was a really good one.
I just-
I miss going down there, I can't wait till they start happening.
Yeah. It's good to get like actually in front of people. I don't know if they're ever going to do that again at the State Department, but I know some other agencies have started already.
I'm sorry, can you ask everyone to talk right now?
Marky,
Yeah,
can we call you back in a
Yeah.
moment?
surely, do you have my, you must have.
30
my
seconds.
number, right? Must be showing.
The phone number.
Okay, bye.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
They didn't ring on the one that I want. The beauty of this app is we have them on like all our devices.
Yeah.
They pick up the computer, which I actually shouldn't let you get on this, so.
So one thing that I wanted to ask you all while we were sitting here is, have you received any emails or questions in any other way about any of the podcasts that went out?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, 'cause I'm trying to figure out if there is a way that we can target people to, call in, like specifically invite them to call in to make sure that we have callers.
Don't ask those people who contacted us about the disability today. We have had some people contact us, period, but yeah.
We definitely have. And, yeah, and can we screen, because can you see the Vanderbilt's call?
No.
Yeah, let's hope that maybe we could, you know.
Can we call you back? We'll be happy to call you after.
Oh, we have a message from a Drew
Yeah.
who says this is the best test ever. You guys comment on that?
Thanks, Drew.
Trying to cool it down a little bit. Where did you see that from? Oh,
I'm going to
YouTube. Yeah, it has your little icon next to it. But, so you had your own.
I just want to know that. It's not
So I don't think Shanera was in the room when Michelle was explaining, but one of the things we thought we could do is have pre, questions already, and then they could either call in and ask the questions or pretend like someone's calling in
That's
and
what I'm
ask the
thinking we're
questions.
gonna have to do.
Yeah.
you know, for the first couple episodes, so
Mhm.
people will get used to the concept, to make sure they're, you know, Kyle is not sitting there for
Right.
30 minutes
Minutes.
talking to himself.
Understood.
But yeah, I
Mhm.
definitely agree, but I was
Mhm.
thinking, you know, if we had received some questions, we could invite those people to speak, but it's okay, we could definitely do that.
Yeah. Yours is plan A. That would be plan B.
Yeah. I knew it was kind of far-fetched.
Mhm.
And then also we have to set up a voicemail greeting, so that when people are calling the phone number, when we're not actually live, they can leave a message. So Kyle, I was hoping we could use your voice.
To use my, okay, that's
The
fine.
voicemail
Yeah,
greeting.
just let me know.
I wrote you a script,
Okay.
but I'll shoot you the text later. And we'll get we're gonna have to just give you the Zoom phone login information. You can probably just go in there and record it for us.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's great. I'm really excited about it.
I was just saying to Michelle, we've come a long way. You know, you guys have really brought us.
Amazing how much you can do with like such limited technology.
You have the right. Different, yeah.
Okay, yep. So we can talk, we've got topics to go to. I appreciate the examples of the difference between what a critical illness and a chronic illness may be, so that can help people understand a critical illness, because I think that's one plan. And actually, when I was at the Hinge Health Conference this past week, that came up multiple times, that people are adding critical illness coverage within their employer benefits. So
Right.
we're always the odd group out, but but creating an understanding of exactly what that is.
Okay, that's great. And then, like you said, we can segue into
We can use
the
that.
ABO benefits under the. Do we need to speak louder?
No, it's not.
Okay.
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 There's another question. I can hear whoever from the handset or whatever you're coming from, I can hear you now. It wasn't the loudness, it was this real kind of echoey, muffly sounding. It wasn't crisp, you couldn't hear what you were really saying, but now I hear you fine.
Did you hear Carl and Xavier? Or just me?
No, I could hear you before, I could hear different voices.
I stupidly signed up to be an elder at my church. I said 3-year term. I'm resigning after 1 year, and we're leaving the church, and I couldn't be happier.
Okay.
All the other elders clearly want to fire our transitional pastor, and like part of me was like, then bring it up. Then bring it up. I don't care that much anymore. I did, and I don't. You keep calling me with your issues. Call her. And then they're like, well, to date, she took 10 days of sick leave and 22 days of vacation. I was like, if I have to explain this one more time, I sent you a spreadsheet. I sent you 3 spreadsheets that show day by day how much leave she was using, what kind of leave. And it gave you an accumulation, like, well, she's going to be taking vacation days that she hasn't earned, and this and that. And I was like,
You know what? I can see if it's becoming that kind of, you know, you're not enjoying it, or.
yeah, I'm done. We're ready to, oh, so I cannot see that. That's the issue. What we can do is I can bring my second screen and we can set that up,
Okay.
which is bigger.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So Adrian, we've got some good questions coming in, so you don't have to listen to just me talk anymore. But why would somebody want to get
hospitalized
Yeah.
and they need to bring a family member over, there's coverage for that. There's what we hate to talk about, repatriation of remains. They even have meal coverage
Oh.
for meals and for
It's like a per diem
and per
almost.
diem, yes.
Huh.
So it is worth looking into if you want that additional or added coverage.
Okay. Great question. Thank you, Michelle from Guam. Drew asks the same question. That's good. Okay, well, so now he asked a different question. You're very well familiar with the FSBP coverage, and they consider all overseas providers to be in network. Does that play into considerations when purchasing travelers insurance?
They can, some of the plans actually have a network, a global network. And not only will the network, not only will they make the initial appointment
Sure.
for you, but they will follow up with the provider for you.
Uh-huh.
And then they will also coordinate your service with a provider in the United States if you should be transferred back. So they will see that your records are transferred,
Got it.
and that sort of thing.
Okay. Well, we're just going to keep going until you all tell us to stop. Okay. Now, Adrian, we did after our introduction episode, our first one was about our discount care program. So we've got a question here about can those discount care programs replace insurance? And I think we need to be careful here about answering the question about replace, because I'm going to repeat my pithy little phrase that it's not insurance, but it does provide assurance. That's the best you are getting from me today, okay? But Adrian, maybe you can talk. We talked on that podcast. I'll encourage everybody to go back in either the YouTube page or your favorite podcast app and look for that discount care programs episode, because we've got the experts on there. But Adrian, perhaps you could talk a little bit about the difference between, let's say, the dental discount and the dental insurance that we offer.
So the discount program, they're both providing the same service. So they're both providing dental coverage for dental services. And the difference being that with the discount program, you are getting a discount at the time of service.
Mm-hmm.
So when you go to the dentist, much like an HMO plan, insurance plan.
Yeah.
So I would kind of liken the discount program to an HMO type insurance plan, where The caveat with accidental death and dismemberment is that your death or your loss has to be a result of an accidental injury. It would not cover loss due to natural causes or due to an illness or disease. So you want to look at both so that you have adequate coverage. And in the event that you do either pass or have from an accident or accidental injury, you will not only be able to claim your regular life insurance policy from your regular life insurance policy, but you will also be able to claim your accidental death
Right.
benefit. So you're doubling.
Yeah. Shows the importance of having both coverages. I think that they're addressing different situations, and in some cases could provide double coverage when your family most needs it and when they least expect it.
Exactly. And one thing I would mention is that most life insurances do require some kind of medical underwriting.
That's a good point.
Accidental death and dismemberment is guaranteed issue. And we've had questions about what is guaranteed issue.
Mm-hmm.
And guaranteed issue just means you're automatically approved. There's no medical underwriting or review of your health history. Right. So if you have a current condition
Sure.
Where you may not be insurable for a regular life insurance policy, then I would highly recommend accidental death and dismemberment.
I'm so glad you mentioned guaranteed issue, because that's something new that we've introduced in the last year, is guaranteed issue of life insurance with under our GEL plan, our group enhanced life, when somebody has a qualifying life event, similar to being able to change their enrollment in dental or health insurance. But let's say they get married, they have a child, adopt a child, that's an opportunity for them to get guaranteed issue of life insurance, right?
It certainly is, and they can get up to $200,000. So if they have less than $200,000, they can increase it up to $200,000 without any medical underwriting, or they can actually apply or enroll for the $200,000.
I thought my QVC, it should be applauding the audit. Well, Adrian, I think that's excellent, and I think it's an important thing to also note that both our life insurance and the AD&D can be combined with any other FEGLI or other coverage that someone has. They're not mutually exclusive, and it offers an opportunity to have some additional coverage, especially as life changes.
And they're portable.
Yes.
So they can carry them if you should leave federal service, if you should retire. You can carry that insurance with you as long as you pay your premium.
Excellent. Very important.
Our critical illness also has a guaranteed issue amount.
Please tell me about, because that is one of our newest plans.
It is.
The critical illness, and we did an episode on this in the fall last year, specifically on critical illness. We did an episode recently on what the difference between disability and critical illness is. But I think people still don't quite understand what it is, and that while it covers only a limited number of conditions, those are very prevalent conditions, unfortunately.
And what comes to mind is cancer.
Yeah.
I am always fearful that after my routine visits that I don't get that diagnosis, because you can walk in feeling healthy and come out with the diagnosis of cancer. You
no
just never know.
Yeah.
No other indication. And so it's important to have these financial buffers in the event that you should unfortunately be diagnosed.
So I'll just say, so that in the critical illness now, do I have to submit receipts for my out-of-pocket costs or other pieces?
It's a great insurance. It's a lump sum benefit.
Okay.
And $10,000, up to $10,000 is guaranteed issue. So no medical underwriting whatsoever. In the event that you are diagnosed or medically certified, medically diagnosed with specific critical illness or condition, and each plan will outline what diseases or conditions they cover. You can get a lump sum benefit, and they do not require you to have treatment in order to file a claim. All you have to do is show medical proof, medically
diagnosis.
certifiable proof of the
Okay.
diagnosis.
Okay, and that coverage is available, you said $10,000 guaranteed issue.
$10,000 is guaranteed
If
issue,
you can do medical underwriting up to,
up to $100,000.
okay, all right.
And spouses and children age 19 and over are eligible for their own policy.
Fantastic. Okay, Adrian, we have a question here that I think is going to relate to our members of household coverage.
Okay.
So, Michelle writes that her mother is coming to live with her overseas. So, now it's important to note that this is a good question. Michelle asks, can I cover her under my health plan? And the answer to that is no. Even if she's on your orders to go overseas and she's been approved to be a member of your household, etc., the FEHB law does not allow her to be covered. The only people who can be covered under a federal employee health benefits program are the employee, the married spouse, and children up to the age of 26. However, Afspa's been working on this issue because we know that family is what you make of it. It's not just the people I described. We've worked on this issue for more than 20 years, and so we offer what we call members of household coverage. And we've got a variety of options, including one that might cover mom for Michelle's mom.
Yes, we do. We have several options. We have about 3 different plans. They can either, and another thing to mention is Medicare, because Medicare will not cover services overseas.
Very important,
So
yes.
if your parent or friend is Medicare eligible and a citizen of the United States and maybe accompanying you overseas for a while, then this would be an excellent option to provide adequate medical coverage. Most countries mandate that you show proof of global medical coverage even before you can enter the country. The plans will give you several options in terms of deductibles, coverage. There's plans that will cover a foreign national who may be living with you in the United States. And there is coverage for a U.S. citizen who may be visiting you overseas or outside of their home country. So if your parent is living in Guam, you're going to be living in Spain, and they're going to be living with you, they would be eligible for this coverage.
Excellent. Michelle, I also want to call attention to Section 5E of the FSBP brochure, Mental Health Services. Keep it in mind, we have special programs available overseas as well. Excellent. All right. We got a question for something that we didn't cover in our podcast series this month, and that's dental insurance. So we touched on this earlier, but Drew asked, what's the difference between Cigna Dental DPPO and the Dominion EPPO? There's a lot of letters there. Some of them are doing double duty, but there's a lot of acronyms.
Yes. The major difference between the two is with Dominion, you have a fee for service. So it acts something, it's a very interesting plan. It's actually a combination of the better qualities of a PPO plan with the better qualities of an HMO plan. So you can, as long as you visit an in-network provider, you have a fee schedule, and that provider is obligated to charge you that discounted fee for service. When you go in-network with the Cigna PPO plan, the in-network providers have negotiated a rate.
More like the health plan.
Just like the health plan.
You don't have that transparency.
You don't.
Okay.
But you do have out-of-network benefits.
Okay.
So should your provider not participate, you can still get reimbursement for services.
That's great. Drew, I just want to point out, one's a D and one's an E. All right? We're going to start there and end there.
You guys are doing great. I think, you've been practicing for like 36 minutes now, and I feel like you guys have it.
Okay.
I was trying to throw some curveballs.
Yeah, he was really trying to.
Slightly.
Don't worry, we're ready.
Right.
If I can interrupt, I want to make one comment. I think how you were reading from the stream of chats on the side, correct?
So when I'm over here?
Let me just ask you what
Sometimes I was looking at,
Get up,
yeah,
that's the-
that, this is my monitor, yeah.
Yeah, the only thing I'll say is, so all the things that are coming here on the right, that's like whatever somebody comments.
Okay,
So
focus on what you all put up at the bottom of the screen.
And then in the future too, it really could be potentially you like reading through the chat and then you show it on that. But that's just to make sure you don't read something crazy that somebody
I appreciate
puts on
that.
there. Yeah, because
Good.
that's everything.
I'll
That's
wait
unmoderated.
for it to show up on the screen.
Exactly.
Good, okay,
Exactly.
excellent.
Great.
All right, well, thank you for joining us for Afspa Live. We hope that you'll mark your calendars for our next event, which will be June 30th at the same time, which is 1 p.m. Eastern, right? Yeah, something like that. Michelle will be joining us at 3 a.m. from Guam. So I don't know what to say about that. But thanks for joining us. We welcome your feedback and any improvements that you would suggest or changes to this format, something new we're trying. We really want to have an opportunity to engage with you directly. That's the whole point of this. So if you think that something different would be better, if you're looking for information on specific themes for future months, please let us know. But I want to say a special thank you to Adrian for joining me throughout the whole month. We still have one more episode, right?
One more episode, yes.
So check your podcast feed on Monday, special Memorial Day issue, I think, of Afspa Talks on the podcast feed about financial wellness. And so I'll also say a special thanks to Drew, Michelle, Shanera, and Sam for making this happen behind the scenes. They make us look good, which, if you ask them, isn't the easiest thing to make all of this happen. So thank you again.
Bye. Happy spring.
So the only thing that you can do, like, when we get it,
You're listening to Afspa Talks. You've read Afspa Listens in our newsletters, and if you haven't, go get our latest newsletter on the website. But now I'm excited to announce a new monthly segment that's about to premiere called Afspa Live. This is something I wanted to do for a long time, a new opportunity for me to interact with you. And in this month, Adrian and I will be able to interact with you on a live basis. So it's going to be an online show that will provide that opportunity for Afspa members and our podcast listeners to ask live questions and get real-time answers from Afspa leaders. And once again, that's going to include me most of the time. We may have Paula on from time to time. We'll have other topic experts like Adrian join us. But it'll be time for you to ask questions about Afspa benefits and services, or about previous Afspa Talks, podcasts, topics, and discussions. So please mark your calendars. Our first Afspa Live show will air on Thursday, May 26th.
Yes, absolutely. So what'll happen is they're going to be obviously watching the show, right? They're going to be watching the show, and they're going to want to call, right? And they're looking at the broadcast. What usually happens is I got to tell them. Because it's moving back. Yes.
So all the instructions you can
I just watched the Eyes of Tammy thing.
Oh, I saw it.
I feel like we're calm now.
Watch what happens live.
Watching it.
Yeah.
I thought she did a
What's that?
I thought she did a good Jessica Chastain. She did a great Jessica. Yeah.
I don't see when she's singing it. It's like, I watched her.
He's back with when he's back and so what it is. Because remember Jimmy Swagger got into scandal too, and he's right back now.
Reality television touch. You can't keep people with no shame.
Yeah, right. It's better to have the shame.
Thank you. This has been great. We bring it back permanently. Let's- Well, I don't know about that, but I appreciate it. Yes, people can get tired for this. Light off. Oh, what's that?
I can send you script for the
Thank you.
voicemail meeting.
Okay.
I wanted to maybe speak in a smart phone, take it like you.
Yes.
Do you mind?
No, I don't. I need to leave in about 10 minutes,
Okay.
but did you send it via?
Oh, I texted her to the team.
Well, that makes sense. That's why I don't see my email.
And you know,
Yep. Where do we want to? Right here?
I'm
Oh, okay.
You can do it.
All right. Thank you for calling Afspa Live, your chance to receive real-time answers to the health and wellness topics you care about. Leave a voicemail and we'll discuss during our next show. Thank you. Thank you all. Hey, I had the time in yesterday and everything, so I really
yeah, we did. This was, the first time we had this on this platform. I'm really excited.
I am too. We can get the paperwork back to, I don't know if I sent the email or not.
You did.
Okay,
Yeah.
get the paperwork back if that's something we want to use, so,
Okay.
good, okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm sorry.
No worries. Oh.
I'm sorry. No, that's amazing. Because they're not, coming in through the link. Remember, we got two different ways of coming, so that's why it's, folks can come in through the link, right? Consent, we want to keep video, one video removed from photos, there's two links, one for them to call in, and then one for them to be on the show. Actually, so if they click on the link, and that was always that was all. Did we change?
Well, no, so I did, okay, now I'm confused.
So remember, there's a link, right?
Yeah.
The
So
same
we're
link that we
gonna talk
have.
about this sitting out the YouTube. Yeah.
That's the view.
Thank you so much, Kyle. You're
We were
so
talking about
great.
the participants on the show.
Great to see you.
They want to be on the show physically, view. They can't call, you gotta click the link. And what I was explaining to her is, you know, chat with that person, when that person does that, they're just like us, they're in the back office. Chat with them, we don't need to have, you can't do that with the Zoom call.
I would appreciate your thoughts or some ways on where, how we should set up in the room.
Okay.
I assume probably not.
That's what we were just talking,
Yeah.
about. She was asking, we was drawing
Line,
lines,
so
so
we
we called her, and when I was explaining to her, it depends on what the other
I
one
think
is.
the whiteboard.
Some people come in on, some people come in late.
Yeah, she's,
Yeah.
you know, you were saying.
You can speak up for, sure.
Yesterday. you
Oh, no,
said-
Ask the podcast sticker.
Because for, they're either call or, you talking about the guest link to call or the guest link to be.
You guys need to be interested.
Gotcha.
You'll work all properly together.
So we, I mean, I think that's where the
All right,
confusion
good
comes
to
in.
see
So,
you.
You too.
I would like to.
Yeah, we wasn't gonna send
We'll
it
be in
out.
touch.
What we
Thank
were
you.
saying was, don't just ask me.
Okay.
Thank you all. Good to meet you.
Nice to meet you, sir.
Well, Adrian and I will be here next Thursday. I don't know, you all be wherever you need to be, wherever makes the most sense.
Yeah.
If it's easier to do at home, if you want to be in here, whatever. But we'll plan to be in one of the rooms over there. Michelle and I were talking about the setup and controlling the light and so forth, so.
Okay, good.
All right.
Bye, Kyle. Are you out for the day?
I am, I've got
Okay, good.
to my kids out. Yeah.
Okay, no, good. Enjoy your day, because it's Friday and it's already 3.
Hopefully it takes less than 90 minutes to get out.
Oh my gosh.
You know this life. You
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
No, I think, and it sounds like we're having two different conversations.
Yeah.
Because she was asking about like, who's handling the actual person, right? On game day, or not necessarily this Thursday, just in general, right? That's how I interpret it. And I was explaining to her, well, it depends in which way they come in.
Mhm.
Either, because if they come in through the link, we can chat with them.
Mhm.
If they call in, we can't. Somebody has to talk.
Mhm.
Yes, that's where we were at.
Mhm.
And then I told her, because when I was telling her, yeah, we can chat, she's like, hold on, how are you gonna chat with the phone call? And that's why I was like, it's two different versions. They won't chat with them with the phone call, meaning in the private chat, but the link they will.
Mhm.
That's where I'm telling her essentially the same thing, but it really is both. It just depends on which the user is, that the guest that's coming in. And you said, well, we're not sending the guest link out.
No, that's what we decided yesterday. I'm
Yeah.
fine with sending the guest link out. So I think what we need to do is just like, assign the rules now.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think it'll put everybody at ease. I don't have, let's say for now, who are our main producers? It's gonna be
Drew,
Drew and you.
yeah, Drew and I are the main, for the technical stuff. So anything that's gotta be technical, you can leave that to us.
Okay. Can we actually, Michelle, can you actually take handling the Zoom phone calls then? Yeah, they're not having to worry about trying to direct people, while they're trying to do anything technical, in case something breaks down.
Yeah.
Not forbid, but in case something breaks down, that way, they don't have to focus on talking to people.
Yeah.
So how do you do?
I just need to know.
I think I should do the Zoom call. Only reason why I'm saying that, and this is why, because I really don't want to talk to people. Like I don't got the perfect voice to talk to people, but because of the technical problem that it may arise, that they may have on that end, meaning right now, that Zoom call that I just did with her is coming in as a separate thing because it's a phone call. So I'm turning it into a video essentially, right? And then I'm piping it back into the show as a video. She won't be able to do that where she's at.
Okay,
That's why
okay.
I
Okay,
think.
so we'll have you doing the Zoom phone call.
But now the Zoom link and chatting with the guests through the link when they come in the back office, feel free to do that. Only specifically, I'm saying, because of the way
So
this
are
is.
we doing
Yeah, that's fine.
that?
Yeah, I'm fine with that. The thing is
That
that,
might, what if, and this is just the scenario. You said it's do like, and we have 50 or more people. Like,
so it's not a Zoom link, it's gonna be a.
not as in like, reaching link, right?
You have a
Every time
limit?
you pop in.
So
It's gonna look like this, right?
but they control who gets seen. I mean, you guys can control who gets seen.
Correct.
Yeah.
So I guess my concern, and this is just me asking questions, this is just me, I'm trying to understand the platform. So 50 people come in here.
No, 50 people won't come. Just because they got the link, they don't have to be in the show. We have a max of 10 people. There's only one person. that's
So then
coming.
why would we show a link if we're only 10 people are allowed to be on the show?
Because if they're talking and I just tuned in, but they've started 10 minutes, and I would ask a question. I need to know where that link is. You know what I mean? Like if I just tuned in to them and I want to call in, right? You sent it in an email. You're saying the link is being sent in an email, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
To 48,000 people.
And that's fine. And that's fine because it's not a webinar. This is a live show. So they're not all flooding 50 people or 48,000 will come in here. It's only whoever can get in. And then he takes that call. So what'll happen is,
But it's not a call though, because they're gonna be all here.
Yeah.
Like this is how it looks to me as like when Adrian was on here, I gave her the guest link, I gave Kyle the guest link, and they all appeared here just like how it appears now. And I guess my concern is,
those
or
are
my
the
question.
only two. Remember that the host and co-host are the only two that you necessarily want to automatically have. And everybody else, if they come into the link, right, they're gonna come in, but they can't get on the show until we tell them. You know what I mean? Like, you see how Kyle and them came in, when they came in through the thing? They can't come to the show.
All
They're
they
in the
did was click the
backstage.
link though, and then they got in.
Yeah, but it's called backstage. That's not.
They were on that side panel, you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's-
So
that's
I
called
guess I'm still a
backstage.
little confused.
We're backstage.
Yeah.
But you can still
There's a
see
separate-
everybody.
Is
Yeah,
he saying there's
we
a
can-
separate link?
Yeah, no.
You can see it.
You guys can see
I
everybody.
think the easiest way to explain this is that, right? So
whatever you're seeing here,
Mhm.
you don't necessarily see all that if you're just watching the show.
Mhm.
Same thing, you won't see everything that's necessarily here just because you're watching the show.
Okay,
We
so-
have to allow everything to come through.
No, but we're not talking about the chats though. We're talking about like the people who are gonna be joining the show. For example, to invite guests, if you do this and you give them a link, right?
Mhm.
And that's what I gave Adrian and Kyle.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just trying to understand.
Yeah,
And then when they click the link, they all got on here automatically.
side.
On this
But
side.
that's what I'm saying.
So
I'm
you
saying
can-
like, I think it's the same thing as this where we have to push them into it from here,
Correct.
right?
But how do we determine though,
If it's the right one.
no, like, if 50 people are asking so many questions, how are we
How
gonna
do you find
determine
them?
like what
It
is?
won't, but see, it won't be 50 people, that's what I'm explaining to you, they can't get in.
So that's the thing, like so if already 10 people are in, for example, and I'm clicking on the link, will it block me, or does it say, you can't get in? You know, kind of, I'm just trying to understand it.
I'm not exactly sure to give you an answer right now, what that would happen. What I'm explaining to you is if we're at our max capacity, they just can't get in.
So yeah.
So then we probably shouldn't do the link.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But see, that's where that goes against the whole point of going live. That would be if it was a webinar. What you're saying would make sense is if it was a webinar. We want everybody to be in this room, this meeting, and we're not. We're on a live show. People are live and they're engaged. They want to call. The number's up there. The link, if they want to join, they can join. They would be on the back end, right? We can chat with them if they're physically there. Like, hey, yada yada yada. Hold on, we're gonna get you in. You're next up. Blah blah blah. Because they're gonna come in with their name or whatever. Kyle's gonna see. We're gonna say, hey, yeah, we got this Sam, and he can see it and say, hey, Sam is blah blah blah. And boom, we click a lot and make that person live. Everyone else, the other 46,000 people, they gotta watch the stream. If they want to come in the show, they could try and click the link and come in, but then they might have to call me and leave a message because that's the option, right? If you can't get in and live, call our thing and leave us a message, and we'll answer your question on stage.
So you have two people
And
calling.
I
one
understand what you're
hold.
saying.
You know what I'm saying? I think it's gonna be a little bit,
I need like the messaging, you don't have to like really say that. like,
Right.
That's exactly why I said that we cannot do the messaging yet until
Yeah.
we work through.
well,
Like, if you want
still
to
have all
hear-
the answers is what I'm trying to say. You know, like, I'm asking you if you're not sure, like if it's.
Yeah, I'm not sure what it's gonna say to the people.
Right.
But it's a
That's
live show. It doesn't, do you understand? It's a live show. It's
I
not a webinar.
understand that, Sam. You don't have to keep repeating that it's a live show. I totally.
I think what we're gonna have to do is like encourage them not to actually view the show here.
Yeah.
Like if you have,
the room.
okay.
You use the show here?
Not, don't use the link to view the show, but if you have a question, use the link.
Yes.
That's gonna
That's
have to
what,
have
that's what the link
have
is.
to be.
Yes.
Like, don't, if you want to actually just view the show, go YouTube or your social media, but if you have a question, either use this link or use this toll-free number.
Yeah, and it would be simple as that, saying, watch us go live as we go live. If you got a question and you want to be on the show physically, click here. If you just want to call and leave us a message or you can't get through, you can leave a message here.
Yeah,
Again, it would be as simple as that, but it has to be like that.
because
In
I
the
think what
sense
she's
of the
saying,
word.
what she's worried about is that and correct me if I'm wrong, I think, too, but the entire mailing list for our e-blast is 48,000 people. So she's worried that if we send this e-blast out and people are using that link as an option to just watch the show.
Yeah.
Then we're
How
gonna
were
have
you going?
a whole bunch of people just sitting in here who aren't even asking questions. They're just sitting there and they're blocking other people from being able to come in who may actually want to ask a question. And that's the point, that's what we're going for, is to have these people live. We don't need a whole bunch of sitting ducks.
Yeah, and I totally get that and I agree. The thing is though, to understand, we have a max of 10 people that I believe that was gonna be on the back office, right? That can get in.
Okay.
Those people, we're engaging. Hey, who are you? You got a question, blah, 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 right? They're not sitting there. If they are, we can kick them at that point. They don't have to, they can't, they
Oh,
don't
you
just,
guys, okay. you guys can
absolutely.
move on. Okay.
You can kick them. They don't need to be in. You can literally remove.
Yes, I think it's gonna be an issue, like I said, of the messaging and then, people monitoring that, just to make sure that. people aren't just sitting here.
I'm hearing that it's 48,000 and I get it, but it's not 48,000 in here.
No, it's
If
just,
you get 1%, you have 486 people.
which is still more than.
Alright.
Yeah. And if you get 0.1%, you have
They
48 people.
can't get in.
No, they can't.
Only 10 people.
My question is, like, well, I guess you were saying you didn't know, so like if Michelle's somewhere, I'm somewhere, or the members, we happen to call it like the same time, is that like, or around the same time, like someone's on the phone with us in the back end, like, is that other person just sent to voicemail?
They will go, you will get an alert, the way Zoom phone works. You can take up to 2 calls at the same time.
Okay.
Through Zoom phone. If somebody call, it would just be like a regular phone, right? They would get sent to voicemail, that's where that voicemail that Kyle just reported, that will say, and they can leave their message. We will get an alert that we have a voicemail, we can download it, whoever's running the Zoom phone portion will be able to download it. And then we can load it up as a video and say, hey, Kyle, we got a voice message there. You know what I mean? That would be the only way. The reason why I was saying to Michelle, though, as far as the Zoom phone, the way that it's got to work, because it's an app, right? Which means, so it has to come in. The only way for Kyle, who is not in the Zoom phone, to be able to talk to them and them to talk back, is going to be like.
How would you know if they're doing?
It's the only way.
Because they're just supposed to be coming in.
But the only thing I would say as far
Right,
as in the back, they don't have
I guess, I'm not
the
sure.
same power. People can come in back, but they're limited for views. So if you go into that link, you'll see you can't access it.
Then that would be bad. But if there's more, how would you know if someone is in there just to view or just to ask a question?
Because if they're not engaging.
We pick them
Just,
up.
you know,
So do we
maybe
just like?
We'll have to try and error.
Yeah, so we'll just have to be like,
how long should we keep take them out? Because they need to engage us by 3 minutes and then, or, you know, whatever.
I feel like that's a lot of logistics,
Yeah, so let me,
but.
and I hate to ask the same question, but I do need to know, so that this, if we're letting them in here, I'm just confused, they're on the Zoom phone? They're in here?
No,
So
no,
those are
no,
two
no.
separate
No,
streams, so.
this-
Separate.
this
This
is
is a restreaming of like.
This would be like the link that
That would
Michelle
be
said.
If you want to be on camera on it,
Right.
Yeah,
and the people who just want to call, just use.
Yeah,
they have a number to call for that.
Yeah, okay, because, no, because then, yeah, you're right, like, one here and people calling, so we would have to just set up, so Sam would be on the phone.
So that's
one
what
of
we were
us
doing,
would
yeah,
be-
we were out, we were trying to set up roles. We were
Okay.
trying to go ahead and assign roles for people.
So it should really probably be like one Zoom person, one video restream person, and one comment.
One,
restream
one
Yeah.
social,
Yeah.
because social, I feel like it's gonna come in through different platforms, so
Mhm.
then this would be someone who's watching over that and showing it to Kyle. Because we just
Exactly.
told him
Yeah,
not to look here.
Exactly, so one of us has to be.
Okay.
have the comment.
Zoom,
So,
the Zoom phone.
Jimmy,
will
you
only-
wanna handle that chat on the side?
Sure.
Okay, so I have you as a producer in social media chat. And then Michelle, do you wanna do the video? For that side, are you comfortable with that?
Sure, I'm not sure exactly, like, do I communicate with them and say, hey, you're gonna go next? Or-
Yeah, it would be the
So
same.
can you
So who
talk
do I
while
do-
not hearing
who
the
do I-
podcast?
Right.
That's what I'm worried about too, like.
And who do I communicate with to make sure that queue is up next? Are we doing a private chat? Like,
Well, see, and that's
You're
another
gonna
thing
be
because we're
putting
gonna all
in
be in
social
there now.
questions and, like, how do I really do, am I next?
Well, so that's the problem though, is that we can't use that private chat because he is a guest, I can see that.
Right, and that was the issue that I was having about sending a link to do this kind of on a live setting, but I mean, if they could see this, is there another way for us to communicate? Like Teams?
Yeah, so we have to use Teams
Yeah.
or WhatsApp or something.
So we're trying to keep teams out of it, but I think we're gonna have to, because I think this will be where you're like, hi, we see you in here, so.
Yeah, so I guess, if they come
And
in,
you could use, like, yes, you can see that private chat could be something that the video producer or the guest video producer would control. And you would be like, if you'd like to, if you're here to talk, like, you have to respond or something, like, you could initiate and elicit a response from the private chat.
Yeah,
And we won't be doing our background stuff in there, but if that's, what they could see, maybe that's.
is there something that we can control as far as messaging when they click on the link and it has like a little message like, if, this link is primarily video question?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we could do that?
yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah, I
So
think that's what we should
I
do.
think we need to inundate them
we
with that.
definitely need
Yes,
to
yes.
let them know, like, if you would like to join this
Yeah.
show, this link is not for viewing, and then on
Yes.
the bottom, we these are the ways that you
Like
can do
very
it.
clear.
Right, very, very
We
clear.
all know we click on links and don't read
You-
what's on.
And our numbers would be like, I'm clicking, it doesn't work,
Yeah.
and then you'll get, and then the first thing that they're gonna do is call 202.
Yeah,
That's so true.
And then we're gonna get so much with everyone, because it's like, why are members calling about this thing, I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
And
Next time I see
Yeah.
HBO,
they're gonna be all of us, we're gonna.
You're gonna be gone, we're not gonna see you.
Yeah, so but
Yeah,
they're
just
gonna
sticking
throw
out.
eggs up. Or something like that.
Okay, so I have Sam as the producer and he's handling the Zoom phone.
Mhm.
Drew is a producer and also handling social media.
Mhm.
Michelle is social media chapping.
Yeah.
Chapping. Michelle, you're a producer and you're handling the video
The
chat.
live caller.
Live, you want to?
Yeah, let's call
I
it
think it's
that.
called Afspa live caller over here.
Okay, live callers and live callers.
The live caller, that's still the Zoom phone bill too, remember that, that's the same thing. Ask a live caller, right, live caller,
Yeah.
they call it. That's just what
Oh, yeah, see, that's Drew.
But this is not a Zoom though, this is Restreamio. So it would be Afspa live caller Restreamio and Afspa live caller.
No, this is who is telling you who that was calling.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
All right, so just-
so then that's Sam. Afspa live caller,
Mhm.
that's Sam.
Yeah.
So then mine would be the video.
Yours would be like
Restreamio
anybody that
video.
actually comes in with a name, like I said,
Like
Drew,
Drew,
or whoever out there,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, the only way to get the Zoom phone into Restream, it has to come through under one of our, computers, our login. So it's mine, it's the producer's coming in,
Mhm.
that's why I won't say Sam, it'll just say ask a live caller.
Okay.
That's what the audience will be seeing and engaging with is that portion. It won't be a bunch of callers, it's only that one.
Okay.
Because all the calls will be funneled through that.
So I'm just
Can
having
we do
this
like
like
a
a certain
thumbnail for
video
that, or
caller.
like a Zoom caller, like maybe produce the thumbnail so that when it's not just a phone.
Mhm.
You know, so then that shows on the bottom, like after live caller from Zoom.
It
Or
depends,
I
it
know.
depends.
Oh,
It
depends.
There's several ways we can do it. The reason why we had the phone is because you'll see the time, you'll see all of that, it's live, it's a phone. You know what I'm saying? Like, to do what you're saying, it would just be a static graphic, which we can do, but then you won't, it negates the whole phone thing, I think. Meaning, like, right now, let me show you. I'll
Because
go
I think the
here.
whole time you were sharing your screen, right?
Yeah, but that was a different, what I was doing for that.
Oh, okay.
What I'm saying is we could literally do what you're saying as a graphic, share the screen. But remember, now I'm sharing the screen with this graphic, but I'm controlling the Zoom phone coming in through it.
Uh-huh.
That is fine if that's the route we want to go. I'm saying, but we lose the ability of it being interactive,
Okay.
meaning the video of the live
Oh,
call.
the phone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we lose that.
Okay, we could keep
But
the phone.
we
It's
can
not
make
a-
a graphic. I would just caution, we can make a graphic for it. It just seems more engaging with the phone. It looks ugly, I know. I wish there was something.
I mean, there's just a lot of things that can happen when you're sharing your phone screen. Something pops up like, hey, boo, and you're like, ooh, and I'm like, booty call, is that calling me?
A booty call.
No, that's not.
It happens when you're on live and you're sharing your phone, you're like, why didn't you pick up
That's
the, yeah, like, oh, God.
Do not disturb. Right?
Yeah, okay. As long as you got that under control, we're good.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then I will take, I mean, what else do you guys need? I could just watch like YouTube to make sure, you know, as a viewer, everything's looking okay. And then maybe,
I think we should do,
Yeah, I
like you
think you should
said,
have.
Teams chat, like
Like the windows open.
until we had that laid out in the first
Yeah.
layout, but it was too much, so. But now you understand why that was that way. right?
Oh, yeah.
I just wanted to just like assign one, but maybe I'll give her YouTube.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I'll give her YouTube.
So this though, Cher, and Sam, if, for example, like you know, as we're producing this on the back end and Kyle's answering, like the first question, maybe there was a social media question and Drew shows it and Kyle and Adrian are talking and answering the question. And then, let's say like I have a caller that, or someone who wants to be live. How would you put them on the screen or do I put them on the screen?
You said a caller or a?
Well, I mean, sorry, a video caller, or a
from
video
that?
restreaming of.
Yep, that would be you, because
So do I
I'm
just-
handling the Zoom folks.
So if, for example, can we just kind of practice that real quick? Like if, for example, we have a dual screen. What happens to it?
Because it's, right now, what the reason it looks like this is because it's on my phone, right? It's not sending out a signal yet, right? And we're still streaming, by the way, this is still going to YouTube. If I went and
What this,
Yeah, but,
Infinity?
iOS is out there now, like, today, like. they-
Oh, okay. Oh, so there you go.
Yeah, it's coming, but I'm not there yet.
No, because I know
Yeah,
that
definitely
you're not
can't
happy
be
with
me.
your Wi-Fi.
so,
It definitely can't be me, because everybody be sitting there like, what's
Hello?
happening?
Is it generic?
so I can be comfortable.
So is this a
doing-
drag and drop?
I can be comfortable doing that. I just need to know then, so if I'm here and the other screen is Kyle and Adrian, that means I would have Michelle telling me, like, that this caller has been approved and they are ready.
Yeah.
Right?
I feel
I would
like
have somebody tell me back that I
You
can't.
guys still have to be.
we're gonna have to
Yeah.
community routines perhaps, or if you have it live on Teams, like if you.
Well, I still have that. What I'm doing now.
And then, or whatever works for you.
Well, if I had a headset on, I'd probably be here and Kyle and Adrian, that's.
Yeah, so.
I just have to
So
figure out
you have a
to
live
see what
caller,
you're saying.
a video caller.
But I guess that's
Maybe after this, after
It's
this.
the only other way to keep it out. of
yeah.
the thing is, too,
But how
that
did
the
you-
video,
Add-
it's only the people who,
Oh, driving.
I
see, in
didn't
my
know.
mind, we're not, even though we're putting the link up, just like, for folks to comment.
So you're just toggling.
We don't the hard part, because, yeah, next Thursday we'll be fine, but when we talk about being remote, like, how are we going to communicate?
Adrian would be there, and then like me and the guest caller, minimize,
Yeah,
something like that.
and then that way you can tell Kyle, like, we're gonna take a chat question next, we're gonna take a video caller.
See how this one is right now? Think about it, you can load up these, right?
Yep.
Because in Thursday's particular instance, it's only, they're in the same one.
Yeah,
So it's one-on-one shot
Yes.
that we gotta worry about. And then those are a lot smaller.
Yeah.
Or it could go the other way, underneath. Same.
yeah, I think for now you're.
That's like Drew really big.
Um,
Take up the
yeah.
entire screen.
Okay, so as long as I guess Michelle and I communicated, I am still approving the questions in the chat while that's happening.
Yeah, so I'll go through it, and Sam, I have to I wanna leave you a little more free because you understand all this technology and some of the things we need you to do, have that flexibility.
Absolutely.
So I have you as a producer and handling the Zoom phone. And then Drew, I have you as director, producer, and manager of social media chat.
So-
Oh my gosh. Put it on resume.
Um,
And then Michelle is producing and managing the video callers. I'm monitoring the social media, so I'll actually be on the social media, making sure that it looks good from the audience perspective, nothing's.
And maybe dumping questions if we need to, I guess. Right, if we need like.
So we need a,
Oh,
we
yeah.
need a Teams chat, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we need a
We need
change
a
that.
Teams chat.
And then I'll have Nene on YouTube, monitoring YouTube.
So what about this too? So everybody who comes in as a guest, video or just audio, they're all labeled as Afspa Live caller automatically.
Like you would think that she.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I can work with you. It's so nice to meet you.
Thank you.
For coming and dining with us.
I know.
I went through all the files over there, so
Oh.
all cleaned up, okay, and all they need is new summary benefits are ready to go.
Thank you
it's
so
all
much.
done.
Thank you, and thanks for being our test.
Yeah.
It sounds like a really good program, so.
We'll have to send you the link when we launch.
Nice to meet you, boss, come back to me.
See you later. Safe
Bye,
travels.
bye, drive safely, all right, bye.
Okay, sorry.
Did you guys, I was gonna say, so, I don't know if you caught that question, is everyone who calls in, phone, video, whatever, gonna show up as Afspa Live caller?
No, they get the name.
They
No,
can name it
They
themselves.
can name it themselves.
Okay.
Yeah. I just named that. The reason that
Is
was
that
like
the
that,
default?
that was, so when y'all, cause y'all came under admin, right? Sure. Well, you specifically.
Yeah.
that's why it shows you the same thing that I had, because it's thinking you're with the same, under the same law.
Okay, but so if it's a random guest, it wouldn't prompt it necessarily like automatically, that's what I call it, they have to name.
They have to name themselves.
I wanna make sure nobody's like, like I said, people just rush through stuff, they might just click, okay, now I have 5 Afspa callers, she tells me they're ready, and I'm like, which one? That's what I want.
Yeah.
But as long as it prompts them to type it first.
Girl in the closet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, without autofill, I'm saying,
Yeah.
You might click buy.
It should ask them, and obviously while we were doing this, there, you can turn on the name, it's just turned off right now, to show in the video. Hold on, let's see, participant names. See that? You see
That
that?
makes it easier, yeah.
You see
So
what
let
I'm
me
saying?
just,
So that was just turned off for now.
I'm just gonna change this for my own, for this little example we're gonna do, so we can look at it. So let's pretend that's Colin Adrian. That's Afspa caller. This is caller 2.
So that'll be,
That's
Drew, that's a good point, right?
Yeah.
What we can do is, since I'm gonna be handling that side, right, the queue of what goes on, I can rename them that for you. Meaning, as they coming in, I can just say call 1, call 2, or whatever, because you would need to know. Really,
I mean, I was doing that for this example, if they name their own names, that's all good, I'm just saying, so I wanna text you real quick for a second, so if I'm here, this is Colin Adrian, they're talking, I'm imagining I'm on Teams, and I see a little chat pop up from Michelle, and she says, hey, Shanara is like ready to talk, right?
She's already down here.
Yeah, it's like, oh, Shanara's ready to talk, then I'm, wait for them to stop their conversation, or kind of hit a natural break. Like, hey Kyle and Adrian, we actually have a call ready for you. Here's Shanara. And then Shanara starts talking, just like that.
Yeah, okay.
And then hopefully we can close out. I mean, when I take them off, are they muted?
What?
Like, so see how I can put Shanara on and off?
Yeah.
The second I take Shanara off, her audio's on.
Yeah, she's not in the live show.
Okay.
You can, and
And I can also
obviously,
mute here, I guess.
yeah, you can mute that.
Just as a backup, I don't know.
So question, when they come in, do they have the power to unmute themselves and then they'll be kind of talking in the show, even though we don't push them in the show, or are their voices only in the show after we put them on screen?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, you got it?
No,
They're not,
Oh.
they're not, it's not live. Anything that, remember, everything, once we put it on that stage, that's live. Anything back behind the scenes, it's not.
So the guest that's here, they're not live until we push them on the screen?
Even if it says
they're
unmute.
unmute?
Well, yes.
So
And, what I have done, and again, because it's technology, right?
Yeah.
I keep it.
Hello, I mean.
If you're not the person talking, I'm muting you. If you're not on there,
That's what I'm saying.
That's
As
what I'm doing.
a protocol, as a result, we should do that. Everyone who comes into this side should just be muted automatically. And then, if I
They
see
had the power to unmute
caller number,
themselves,
do
though.
that.
Yeah.
So then I got, yeah.
I do. I know that one.
Well, you're.
No, but even.
No, I said something by myself, but I can't on this side.
Yeah.
Adrian said that she was not muted.
Maybe it's because she
muted
me, Michelle.
No, you
But that-
I keep them.
Yeah. No, that's what I wanted to set down. So as a protocol, when they come in, we just automatically mute them if they're not already muted, just for everybody to know. Okay. And then so if I bring
How
them,
do we talk to them?
so if I bring them in, I have to unmute them too. How do you?
So how do I communicate with them?
So she would be screening them.
Not the caller, the
Sorry, with the
Video. It's your video people.
with the link video.
Link video.
How do I communicate?
Team audio.
Can I talk to you? If you guys would.
Wait, is Shanara 3 or?
Do you want her in the show or you want her not? So let's take her out of the show. You want to see?
Yeah.
Thanks, Michelle.
Go ahead.
I'm still doing it.
Yeah, you and
I am muted.
It doesn't just mute you, I personally won't just send something on you, I can't play myself.
yeah, on my
On
computer
my
it says
end,
you're.
yeah.
Refresh it.
Oh, I can block that HTTP.
What about your?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true. You can't use them.
That was it. I'm gonna actually drop it off on this one.
You were asking something else, Michelle.
I think we're testing that.
Can you hear me, Sharon? I can't hear you.
Say something again, go ahead, say something again. Sharon.
Yeah, I can't hear you. Something came through here, but I couldn't hear you on my headset. Can't hear you. I see you though. I also can't chat. So that's gonna be,
Oh, wait, hold on.
the private chat, you see it? Maybe it's different, really. Who did test? Like,
That was-
oh, okay.
I did test it.
Oh, yeah, I see your,
just misspelled it.
I see you on the chat.
Okay,
Okay.
but you can't hear me.
I can't hear you.
One. It's probably, well, she's under the guest though, right? Not bad.
Can't hear you. Or she probably is there.
Can you hear me?
As soon as I brought her in, that's me bringing her into the show.
You're only in the, only when you're in the show, we can hear you, but I can't hear you on the back end. So we can't I can't
Can't talk,
communicate
you
with
back
the,
in,
with
you
the
can chat,
people.
you can chat,
I could, yeah,
talk.
I can chat with the people, but I can't talk to the people.
Okay.
So how would I do that? Just kind of like at Grace, at Mary?
Yeah, you have to chat with them.
Okay. Yeah.
Remember though, there's only, if all of us are in here, right, it's only 10, they don't allow you to have 10 people in here. It's not gonna be
At
a lot.
max, you have 7 people chatting, basically.
So,
At max. That
So
you would be
Michelle-
willing-
I only want to think worst case scenario planning, so you should think worst
I'm
case
just trying
scenario.
to see if I get notified or something. because the default when you come in is the video. So I just wanna see if it notifies me that you chatted with me. Writing a book.
I see it on mine.
I didn't get a notification, but I mean, if I go over there, it's there.
Okay.
But it's like when I come on.
Ooh,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
not good. And it's coming in as Afspa Live color? Oh, no, because you changed it just for purposes.
No, that was you. That's your name. Like your name that you're either that you're under, you want to change it. You can change that. You go to your window or your thing, and click right click. It's like 3 dots. You can edit the name and change it.
Yeah, so this is the screen that I get when I come in initially.
So, how do we change our name?
It's right here.
So did you change my name to Afspa Live color?
Afterline was the default because that's what was his.
So my name says Michelle.
I just changed it to that.
Oh, you did, gotcha.
Afterline color.
Yeah.
So that's why it was the default for everybody.
Okay, so now if I, Shanara, if I do that, it will be Michelle?
Right, you know.
So then I would just probably do moderator, mine would be like video moderator or something, not my name.
Oh, sorry, do it again, because I came out, it, clears the chat.
After live video moderator. Okay.
Does it come with that?
Oh, we're actually like butchering your name. Genre.
But I wish it did give a notification that somebody's trying to chat with you.
Did it at least give a sign that
Like
there
a
are
ping?
chats available? Like in
Yeah,
chat
I mean,
happening?
it's up here.
It says private chat.
Yeah, and I don't know how many people are gonna click on it.
There's no like red
What is
thing that
that
comes up
chat
with
though?
unread messages.
That's the one I can't type in.
Oh, you know what? It says audience with
That's
this right here, but put on test. I'm gonna just do a test. Can you see that? Oh, yeah. So they can see everything that comes in.
I wish, it's still live, then let me just try to send it through YouTube right now.
So-
Did you type that in there?
Yeah, because
What
this is
happens
the
if you
whole,
type it in YouTube?
it'll tell me what to see. Go test it.
She'll test it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'll see everything. So you can't even like,
What do you mean they'll see everything?
I can see everything that comes in, every comment that comes in from social media. As a guest, so we probably
you
don't.
can't filter that. Yeah, we should do the link then. So this is what we should do. Here's
Is
the,
there a
plan
setting that we
B.
can change on that?
What if plan B, they call through the Zoom, and then we say, would you like to be on a video call? I'm gonna send you a link right now. And then, we send them the link, and then we'll, instruct them as to when they're gonna, when they can answer questions or whatever. But as far as the link going live to 40,000 people, I don't think that's good.
I think that's a good idea because the majority of people will say, no, I don't want to be on video, and
Right.
cut out that headache in the first place.
Right.
And somebody who does, they're gonna get the link, and they're gonna wait a little longer, what's your email? I'll send it to you right now.
Well, so let's say they don't wanna be on video, but they wanna be on the live show, they don't have to turn on their camera, but they can still talk.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I'm
so,
saying most people will probably end up doing that.
yeah, so then we can just let them know that that would be Sam getting the calls, right? And so it'd be like, hi, thank you for calling the Afspa Live show. Okay, so I don't know, that's just my suggestion, but if you have any other ideas.
I think if you have a week left to running this thing,
Yeah,
that
because
sounds
we don't
like,
have a lot of time.
path of least resistance is maybe the best choice right now.
Yeah, giving them the least amount of options to kind of plug.
Especially
in
while we
this.
start.
Yeah,
I actually think you might as well build out the project and start with bare bones, and then if it goes successful, we can try the other stuff.
or, okay, this is another suggestion, but if I do like a invitation or like, an e-blast, right, and we do a form,
And then we say, if you're interested in being in a live show, click this link, or give us your email, put your email address, and then we will send the link to them.
If they're pre-edited, kind of thing, I guess. I mean,
It's trying to think of different ways.
it's not
Because
terrible.
it's like, they've already committed, because they're giving us their email address, then we can send them the link, at least we're
I
reading
think that
out.
might work better, just because since we only have half an hour, if we have to take a call and then collect contact information from them and then send a link, that's pushing the time.
Well, so I'm planning to send we're supposed to send the e-blast this week because we're going live next week. So obviously next week would be the time that I send an e-blast. So once we send that, maybe like Monday, we would get all the emails, and I'm pretty sure we're not getting 40,000 emails. We're probably gonna get maybe like 10 to 20, hopefully, or maybe 30 upwards of like, I don't know. And then email those individuals and say, thank you for, you're interested in participating in our first Afspa Live show. Here is a link to join the show on whatever, and then we give them the. What do you think about that one? I don't know. I'm just throwing out suggestions.
I think that's, I mean, yeah, because then you can give people some information to be like, I don't know, make sure your life is good or something, like, because you're about to be on, just to be like very clear, you're gonna be on this.
Explain where the show is live.
Exactly, right?
I think we would probably get more people who would be willing to go on video too, if they have to, rather than if they're like.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, I have to jump on camera now.
You're not gonna do that, yeah.
Yeah. So I like that.
So that, and if they don't want to be live, I mean, we still set up the Zoom call.
Yeah,
For,
they want just audio.
if they just want audio, but even this, if they just want audio, all I have to do is just shut off the camera, let you know, she can easily turn off the camera, and be like, hi, it'll just say her name.
So,
And then, Drew again would just pop her in there, and it'd be like, and then she's live. And then be like, hi Kyle, I think this is a great show, thanks for having me, that question, blah, blah. And then when Drew takes her out, she's gone. What are you
I believe that makes sense.
I think so.
Right now,
I would say you should probably just send out the, watch us on our social media platforms, where they can watch it. If they'd like to join the conversation, essentially what they would be doing, and provide it to them, the link to the thing, right? Not in the email, right? Only when they come to watch, right? The show, we've sent it to 43,000 people. So all the people now should come to our socials, whichever one they prefer. But when we're live, we have the option of creating little captions that can go across the screen. You want to join the show? Here's the link to join the show.
Yeah, they
So
can click
everybody
on
that's
that.
watching.
They can't click on that, can they? It would be just on.
Well,
they can't find out.
it can be in the thing, it doesn't have to be here. My point is, if you go look at it on YouTube, right, you could literally see how that just says resharing.io. That's really all it's gonna be. We can put it in the chat. There's so many ways you can do it. What I'm saying is if the question is, because it sounds like we don't want to confuse them, right? When we send it out, hey, watch here, join here, listen here. You don't want to confuse them, just tell them to come watch. When they come watch, hey, if you'd like to be a part of the show, here you are. I agree. Some people might want to prep for it, but those who do, you can let them know there's going to be an option to join if you like. You know what I mean? Rather than give them that right then and there. The concern is we don't want to confuse them with too many links.
So then that would be the messaging you would do.
The messaging would be like,
Come watch, right? And then when you watch, we'll give, we will give you the link or the phone, whatever, the opportunity to speak with us when you come and watch it.
So my concern there is
What are they gonna talk about initially, if nobody's?
See, that would be the benefit of the other one where you would be prepped before. This one is you're putting a lot of reliance on everything happening.
you're putting a lot of reliance on people actually watching the show.
No, hold on. Remember, go back to the strategy of why we're doing it. Carl and Adrian and them are supposed to be talking about what they've already talked about for the last 4 weeks. So they have something to talk about.
That should only be like 5 minutes or so.
That's why we would prep those
Yeah.
questions.
Yeah.
I don't know if-
We have questions. So in
I'm
terms
gonna
of,
get it started.
Well,
I'm
no,
just saying that
I feel
the,
more
because I get it,
comfortable.
you're right, what are they gonna talk about?
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
they're
I just,
supposed to
I don't
talk
want,
about-
I don't want to get Kyle and you just like hang me out.
No, there's four, so if you do the math and you say four, they did 4 weeks, right?
Mhm.
There was 4 topics, we had 4 episodes of Ask and Talks. We should hit each one and talk a little bit about it. If they spent 5 minutes on just the topic itself, that's 20 minutes right there. If they really did that,
Mhm.
that only leaves 10 minutes of the actual show. So that's what I'm saying. The goal was for them to discuss and people that might have missed, right? Hey, we hit this, blah, blah. If you got a question, you listen to us, blah, blah. Now is your chance to get your question answered live, right?
Yeah, I don't want them talking about the same thing that they talked about for the previous month. Because that's too much overlap on the panel.
Well,
And
that's,
I know maybe this is maybe format to the first show, but I
okay.
I just
Well,
don't, yeah, I don't
the
want.
thing is though, you can't base it off of, you're gonna get people calling in on the pages 30 minutes. You can't do that. That's just not possible. We don't know. Because what'll happen is we're gonna do it and then that's why it's like, okay, the way we laid that out was, hey, last week, the first of the month, we hit this. If you missed it, go check out Afspa Test. We spent a lot of time going there. We had special guests, yada, 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 yada. And then the following, they get like, yeah, then we went on and down it, like but they're talking about what they've already talked about. They're not doing it and spending details on it. They're only reminding people in case you missed it, where you should go watch it. And if you have a question about it, how about, ask us right now. Here's the link to come join our conversation. Be live. That's because I get it. If you got 48,000 members, and you would think, like he said, 1%, okay, 430 people. You would think, right? But
Well, I personally believe you have to plan for worst case scenarios. I think you should plan for scale, and then it'll work out all better when you get one person, then it's smooth. And I don't know, I think the way Michelle says it, personally, if we're gonna be running it in the moving forward too, if that's what is comfortable now, we should start out with that. And we could change the strategy in the next month, but I kind of hear what you're saying. And it at least puts my mind at ease in terms of like less to do on the day of. Like you said, we can do it many ways, so if that doesn't work, then the next time we'll do it a different way.
I'm sorry, run back.
About her idea.
Which one,
If you wanna-
Michelle's.
Which one else I did? I think Drew talked about my suggestions to when I send the e-blast, I would say if you're interested in becoming on, participating on the live show on the day of, and be on video. This is, it would be like a form thing where we will email you the link. And so at least now we have an idea, a general idea of how many people are
I just want to feel in control and prepared, even if we do get one person.
Yeah.
It's one. Yeah, have a person, but
If we get like
As
3
long-
people, that's like
as
a
long
success
as
story.
long as
for
we
now.
feel in control during the whole thing, this is our first run.
Yeah,
That's what I'm most concerned
I
about.
like that. I don't know.
Yeah, so if we get a general idea, then we send them that link, right? And then, the first show runs pretty smoothly, even with the social people, because like you said, we're going live on every platform. And people will be like, oh, this is cool, hey, whatever, because they can just be saying hi, or they can be like, hi from
Yeah.
Costa Rica.
Yeah.
So at least for the link though, because, there's only up to 10 people, and there's already how many of us in there, right?
It's only 3, right? Kyle and Adrian are 1, you and me.
And me,
Oh, there's 4.
and Shanara.
Jenna wouldn't be.
I don't have
She wouldn't
I
necessarily
don't have to be
there.
there. I
Okay.
mean, I'm gonna be monitoring YouTube, but if I don't need to be on Restream so that I need to create space for, a guest or a caller,
Yeah.
I can
Because then
definitely.
that would help us too, because if we get like 10 people, I could already say, oh, you're going first, you're going second, you're going third. And then in the middle of your questions, if we don't get a lot of social, but we have enough video caller, then I'd be like, Drew, I have like 10, what about you, And it's like, let's just roll with it.
Exactly.
roll with
It
I
kind
don't
of
know.
makes us able to plan a little more. Like the way you're explaining this thing, I think you could, like you said, you could do it many different ways. I'm sure we could do it that way. I think just for this first run, this makes me feel a little more comfortable, just with everything. I don't want to mess it up, especially if I'm on the screen or something. I don't want to make a face while I'm like, what's that?
What are you saying would make it, I'm confused now.
Versus, I think you were saying to, well, I actually don't want to rephrase because I'm having trouble
So it's-
rephrasing.
So the route that we're trying to go is, have Michelle sent out an e-blast to our membership, letting them know that we're launching Afspa Live.
And that we're gonna be social and watch us on all the platforms.
Tell
So
them
we'll
how
have
to
all the
watch.
links, yeah.
Yeah, and if you wanna join, like, fill out this form, and then they would provide.
Really just their name and email
Yeah.
address, and then we pull the mailing list
Mhm.
and then send them the link
The link to.
to go into the left side of the broadcast show.
Got it. What about Zoom?
Oh, yeah, no, we have that too.
In the e-blast too, yeah.
So
So it would be like, if you wanna be on camera during the show, or like join, then email or fill out this form.
So we would have, like you said, the options right there, and it'd be like, if you wanna join through a Zoom call, if you're overseas and you wanna just call in and just do an audio question.
I would almost say you
We could
leave
probably even
the
have to do the
Zoom.
Zoom.
I would just say it
Yeah.
may be easier to have the Zoom as the option of them wanting to leave a message. Because that's really what we initially got it for, right?
Mhm.
Because Restream can do the same thing, you don't have to be on, it's a link, they can get it, and it's audio.
Yeah, I like that idea, so if
But the
they,
Zoom is if they want to use a message, because then what happens is, if it's live on Zoom, then it's got the ugly dial thing, we gotta deal with all of that, whereas with this way, we don't, it's just video
So,
and then.
are you comfortable crafting messaging where it's like, cause I feel like then we get into the thing of, you may or may not show your camera depending on, like, but I feel like some people may be like a little nervous about coming in online and.
yeah, no, we'd have to craft that carefully.
Yeah,
and
are you
so,
comfortable
if you're
being able to
comfortable
craft
being,
that?
right,
Okay.
yeah, no, I could definitely.
They'll
work
see,
with
remember,
that.
they're gonna see that though, remember, just like you did, they have the option, when they come into the show, to turn their video on. and
Yeah.
turn it off.
Yes,
But I think when people start filling out that form too, that maybe, because I'm just wondering about people, the very small percentage of people that we know are members don't have internet.
Yeah, no, so that's what we have.
That's probably like really for them,
Yeah.
but,
Wait,
never mind, don't worry about that.
Yeah, we're not worried about that, because
Yeah,
really, we're
don't worry about
communicating this in an email, so,
Yeah.
Don't worry
we
about it.
would have the assumption that they have technology, so.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
So I mean,
Scratch that.
you would do that explanation, in the initial communication to everybody, you wouldn't necessarily be saying all that, right? You would just be like, this is video, this is to watch, this is to participate.
Yeah, so if
And
you-
then
and if
the
you-
follow-up,
the follow-up,
communication, that's where you have all the details of, you might be on camera, yada, yada, yada.
Yes, that would be more of a follow-up thing,
Yeah,
but
okay,
but the initial communication would be like, we have our Zoom number, if you'd like to ask a question, to record your question so that it's played during the live show.
Mhm.
So that's an opportunity for them to like, I don't wanna be live, but I do have a question, so they would record it, so that would collect these voice questions. And so now we have a pool of voice questions, we have hopefully people waiting to go live on the show, and then we have social media.
Yeah, I like that. Okay. So then do you have can we agree that this is the link that we're using? The day of, the live stream, the restream link? The guest link?
Not this one, no.
Okay.
I'll give that to you, I would rather give it to you, you wanna send this out Monday, right? You said, as soon as possible, right? I know. You wanna
Michelle
do it
was
soon?
gonna put it off Monday or Tuesday, because she's flying back to
You
Guam.
wanna
But,
send it
but
as soon as
I'm
possible.
gonna send it on whenever, I wanna sketch, I'm just gonna have to work, I mean, what am I gonna do?
Can you?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I work here too. If you wanna start working on it, you can
I'm
send
gonna
it
draft,
to
what I'll do
me.
is, what I'll do Drew, is I'll draft it, and then I'll send the draft to all of you.
Okay.
And then from there, Drew, you
And then,
can
yeah,
schedule it for Monday, if that's okay,
Sure.
and then.
Well, I'll probably see it on Monday morning and then schedule it, and then
Yes.
I'll be honest. I'm not-
So you need that link by Monday.
Absolutely, I mean, in reality,
Well,
Monday
in
morning.
reality, yeah, I'll put a placeholder for the link.
Yeah,
and
just
the
put a plate,
draft, and
the
then-
reason why, remember, I think I explained, but it's, I can give it to you now, literally, but it may change if something comes up, like, that's the only thing. And I know it's like, well, what's gonna change, right?
Yeah,
I don't know,
what
it's Murphy's Law, this is.
I mean, what is it, it's like any example of, like, what? in what way would
So,
it change?
well, depending on if we, like, right now, we're hashing out whether we wanna use this different product, you know, all of that stuff, until we get to that
I
game
think
day.
what he needs is because it's on, he's hosting it live right now, currently on PDIP.
Yeah,
Innovation,
that's right,
And he's
that's
not
right,
hosting it
that's
live on
right.
our Afspa on
Yes.
YouTube. So
Okay,
that
yes.
link would definitely change.
Yes.
So what we would have to generate a link.
I have one. That's my point, is I actually have it. You go back out